The Bible talks about the fruit of the Holy Spirit in Galatians chapter 5 verses 22 through 23. And I like to liken it to leaves on a tree. And when you think about narcissism and sin was one of the first subjects I studied. It likens the leaves on a tree to being 100% immaculate to slowly withering away. And that's the leaf narcissizing. It's being devalued. Now you might say some leaves when they wither away are worth a lot, like tea leaves, and think, yeah, you're right. But the principle is the same. The life that's in that leaf begins to leave. And that's called narcissizing. Narcissism, narcissizing. The narcissizing process is from life slowly to death. And the death might not be necessarily the death of the person. It could be the death of patience. It could be the death of love. It could be the death of the respect that you have for that person. The narcissizing is much broader than what we give it credit to. But the easiest way that I've always thought to describe it is sin. Because sin devalues everything it can touch. It's just what it does. If you have a relationship and you sin against it, there's a million ways in which you can do that. But you're ruining it. You can ruin it instantaneously, never to have it back again, or you can ruin it micro-incrementally until the other person just gives in. When you think about the principle of narcissism, this fire, if I don't put any more wood on it, is narcissizing. It's going to slowly but surely lose its flame, and then the embers will glow, and then eventually it'll go out. That's narcissizing. From fire to smoke. And it happens slowly. Like if I sit out here and wait for this fire to go out, which I will for a while, it's going to take a while. It's going to take patience, perseverance. But one thing's for sure, all the signs are that the fire's going to go out. It's the same when you're in a relationship and the behavior starts to deteriorate. That is going to put certain elements of your love and devotion and stuff out. Eventually the fire will go out. Now you can try and fight it, resist it, devote yourself more, go to counselling, all the rest of it. Be more devoted, committed. But if the resolve doesn't come to the problem, guess what's going to happen? All your effort is not going to make any difference. The fire, whatever the problem is, will put the best parts of you out. That's how narcissism works. That's how mental health deteriorates, and then physical health deteriorates, because the health that's required in the relationship is covertly, micro-incrementally being burned up. The supply that you're giving, the good A-grade supply of yourself, is just being burned up in a fire. It's not producing anything. It's just being burned up, taken away. I remember I was in a relationship with one woman, and she would come and get a supply from me, but she lived with her sons. She carried out the husbandry with her sons. They needed her more than what I did. And I decided that I'm not going to give my supply to this person anymore, because she's not going to translate it into anything that's going to be effective or rewarding for the supply that I was giving. She'd give supply, and it wasn't A grade. But the strength from my supply was being used for the husbandry of her sons. And a lot of these covert narcissistic females will be in covert emotional incestual relationships with their dysfunctional sons. And that's how you know you're never going to have a proper relationship with that person, because they're not having a relationship with you. They're using you for supply. They're coming and they're getting their supply and sharing their supply and giving themselves a sense of importance, which they can't get from the covert emotional incestual relationship or wherever else they're in disorder. Every covert female narcissist female I've had has had a child in the background that was covertly emotionally incestually connected to that woman. There you go. Every single one. I've had a few now. So they say, look at the family. Well, look at what's going on around that person. Who are they with? Who do they mix with? What are they putting their energy into? Is the energy that you're investing into that person being spent correctly as an asset towards a relationship, or is it being wasted in areas that are not going to profit anybody except the people that she's closest to? You're being robbed. The mind spins. It happens to females as well. And hear those crickets? Get used to that sound, because when you confront a covert narcissist, you're probably going to end up listening to the crickets. And believe me, your greatest strength is the ability to be able to detach in correspondence, in parallel with, equally aligned with their sin, their narcissized behavior. As the fire starts to go out and they're pretending that it's not, that's their covert motive. As you see this covert behavior, instead of trying to try harder, parallel the sin, the narcissized behavior, with detachment. So by the time the fire's gone out, you've detached. And that is your superpower against the narcissist, against the sinner. Because the sinner gets supply from watching your demise. I've said to these women, you are not strong enough to ruin me. I've sat there and said it to their faces. You are not strong enough to ruin me. And in some cases, I've said it to the demons that have been working within them. You are not strong enough to destroy me. Because a lot of these female narcissists and male narcissists are used to people running after them until they've got nothing left in the tank. And your superpower is to take the wood out of the fire instead of putting more on it. Take the fuel away. Detach. Go no contact. Tell that person, no, I am not going to do this anymore. You're not strong enough to ruin me. I don't like what you're doing. We've spoken about it. We've tried to resolve it. You don't want to. You know you've detached. At this point you say, I will not be contacting you anymore. I'm not going to tolerate this anymore. It hasn't worked for me. Go no contact and never, ever, 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 ever go back.